Ruben Amorim does not want Marcus Rashford to return to Manchester United. We saw him play against Brentford versus Aston Villa, and he had a horrid display for Thomas Tuchel at England. Hasn't really found it. He's definitely showing a little more effort on the pitch, some tracking back, but the old habits die hard. The old habits are dying hard for Marcus Rashford, and the club switch isn't igniting him to £40 million territory. We have to remember that the agreement with Aston Villa is rumored to be a £40 million buy clause in the buy option in the agreement. And has he shown them $40 million worth? And the answer is no. The England call-up was promising, but he didn't really perform well this international break. And so it's looking like Rashford would come back and return from loan, but Amorim doesn't want him.
I mean, it makes sense. Obviously, like Marcus Rashford, let's rewind the clock, sir. Ruben Amorim shows up 2 days later. Marcus Rashford's like, I want a fresh start. Fresh start has happened. The thing that didn't make sense is
he went to the Knicks game. We're in the Louis Vuitton.
I know, but as soon as he really showed up, he was like, I'm out. I want to get out. He was doing the interview. And here's the thing. Villa, it made sense. England, dude, that doesn't make sense. He has not featured great for England in many years. Not his for ever since that penalty miss, a couple years back, he just kind of looked a shadow of himself.
Sancho and Rashford.
Both of them. Laid out to dry by, what's his name? Southgate,
yeah.
So I don't have hope that he's going to turn around at Villa. It never made sense in England because that's come on, big standard, and that's hard to live up for any player, even if they're in. Look at fucking Phil Foden. He actually lays duds usually for England, and we know how good he's been for City. So I think the only chance he's going to turn around is for Villa because Villa plays such good football.
He's not even starting.
I know, because they have better players in front of them. It's hard to knock players out who are in that good of a position, who have been playing such good football. They're also in the Champions League still. I think Marcus Rashford is coming back to Manchester United at the end of the season.
Yeah, but Amorim doesn't want him. So the fact that that's just we're gonna sell him for cut rate. He's not even gonna go for 40. So from 100 million to PSG to 40 million to Villa to then Villa saying we're good. What do you 15? What are you gonna sell? Look at his wages. By the way, we're paying his wages to play for Villa. He's sitting on the bench. Are we even going to be able to get rid of I think we'll basically have to give him away because of those wages. It's going to get really bad, and this is not what United wants. And so as much as it's been a saga, just like Sancho is a saga, Rashford's this player I thought for sure would break Wayne Rooney's record. He'd be up there with Bobby Charlton as far as an all-time great goal scorer for Manchester United. Something went sideways after those big seasons, and he's kind of in a soul-searching part of his career. Villa maybe ignited the spark for a couple of matches. He went to England. It's hey, I just don't think it doesn't make sense. You look at him as a player, and he's just not where he was 3 or 4 years ago. He's off his level, and you don't like to see that. And as a club, we gave him this big deal, and now it's floundering. You want him to go to Villa. You want him to play well. You want him to pay £40 million for him. That's what we want to happen. Seeing it go in this direction is sad, and it's worrisome, and it's just going to hurt United, who are desperate for cash, who can't get anyone off the books. Sancho coming back for nothing. Rashford coming back. Manager doesn't want him. Cut rate sales. Batiste won't even buy Anthony. We can't get rid of nobody, and this is just killing us. So, you wish one of them would have gone that way. Sancho played well at Chelsea. They signed for 25. Rashford plays well. We're getting no luck on this stuff.
Anthony's actually playing decent. He's scoring goals. Just that we loaned him to a broke, we loaned him to a broke La Liga team. Basically, the only teams that have cash are the two Madrid teams and Barcelona. Everyone else is effectively broke. It's also because of how they do the TV rates. But getting back to Rashford, I mean, ever since basically, if you look at what's happened, he had that high-flying season where he was unbelievable, 30 goals across all competitions under fucking Ole. And I think easy-going Ole. And then ever since then, he's had two hardo coaches. Ten Hag and Ruben Amorim are both don't fuck around, driving to the ground, which you probably do need to succeed. And he is not like that. He has not done well. And it's a real shame because he's an unbelievably talented player. In the same way Sancho is a talented player, in the way that Anthony is not a talented. Like these guys have natural talent coming out of his ears. Rashford has so much pace and so much ability, but at the end of the day, everything's decided between his ears. And it's like if your head ain't right, you're gonna have a bad time. So it's a bummer that none of the loans look to be productive. We'll get into the Chelsea one in a second.
Well, the Belfast for me,
China White Club.
No, once you go to the Belfast and you're not getting back for training and you're being paid for it just shows you kind of there's real cracks there. So I hope Rashford turns it around and we get the 40 million from Villa, because the key point in this article, Amorim doesn't want him and Manchester United are going to sell him at a cut rate price regardless.